News Talk 710 KURV. It's your 956 Drive Home with Zach Cantu and Davis Rankin. Don't forget, you can listen to past interviews on the 956 Drive Home Rewind podcast, available on Apple Podcast or Google Podcast. There's some gun buying numbers, some stats up and down. They had been slow somewhat recently, but things are kind of spiking for several reasons. And if you're somebody who's on the fence about buying a weapon, this is the segment for you. This is the part of the show that's for you. Joining us on 710 KURV is Emily Taylor from U.S. Law Shield. She joins us now. Well, first off, I guess let's get this out of the way. The reason that gun sales have been spiking, more people are picking up firearms now. You wouldn't happen to know what kind, but I guess more importantly is why they're picking up the firearms.
I can definitely tell you about the why, and it's a combination of increasing waves of violent crime and in conjunction with calls from President Biden and from Democratic lawmakers for more gun control and stricter laws on purchasing those weapons. That's a combination that really scares people and makes them want to get that effective defensive tool into their hands.
I think it was ATF recently on the term is escaping me. The braces, the braces for the pistols. That's got a lot of people rubbed the wrong way so far. Has there been foreshadowing for other things coming down the line?
Well, that it did. And for anyone who's listening who's a little, behind the news on that one, we had the ATF for years and years and years telling us that it was completely legal to own these certain pistols, AR and AK platform pistols, to put an arm stabilizing brace to help you fire it, and that was legal, lawful, perfectly okay. People spent lots of money on these things. And now the ATF has come out, reversed course, and said, actually, those are illegal unless you jump through all these hoops, which you may or may not do. And if you refuse to do them, you're going to be a felon for owning this item. We have lots of states, including the state of Texas, filing suit against the federal government to try to stop this. But yes, we actually saw this as the second step in a wave of kind of legislating through government agency rather than through Congress. The first was with bump stocks. Now we see it with these arm-braced pistols. I think we will see it over and over and over again as the government's most effective means of gun control since Congress is stagnant on the issue.
Joining us on 710 KURV to talk about the Second Amendment and the good old U.S. of A. is Emily Taylor, part of U.S. Law Shield. She's our guest right now, and we're talking about why gun sales have kind of spiked a little bit right now, and some of it is the foreshadowing from the Biden administration that, hey, there might be some new regulations or bans outright or taxes down the line. What have they said tax-wise?
Absolutely. So that's with these braced pistols, and that would affect anything that gets regulated through the ATF, through the National Firearms Act. So that is a $200 tax per item. Plus, most people own those items through a trust rather than individually. That's going to cost you $300 to $500 to establish through an attorney. Plus, just I think not only the cost of the weapon itself, but if you can put a price on your time in getting through the forms, making your application, getting your photograph, your fingerprints, all of that done, it becomes quite a pricey endeavor at the end of the day.
One of the questions that kind of came up in my head as I was reading about this was, so if I'm, say, hey, times are always changing, I want to defend my home, my family, my person. If I am a person that wants to, if I'm sitting on the fence, I think it's time I need to pick up a firearm, right? Now, the type of weapon, it's another conversation entirely, but the reasons for it and some of the laws that you would need to know going into it before buying. There's a lot of stuff that first timers don't know, and it's probably a really daunting process if you get into it. But what can you tell us?
Yes, so I'll tell you. If you are looking at something at a commercial gun dealer and they are willing to sell it to you, it is legal. So you don't need to worry about the legality of the item itself in the state of Texas. You also don't need to worry about your transport home of said item. A lot of people worry about that as first-time gun owners. You can take it home in the case and deal with it at home. You could also load it up and conceal it in your vehicle, or go ahead and pop it in a holster. The state of Texas is wonderfully easy on vehicle carry. And of course, now that we have constitutional carry, you really just need to worry about the wheres of, am I going into a school, into a courthouse, into a hospital? Am I seeing no gun signs? Keep your eye out for those. Check out the Texas Penal Code, Chapter 46.03. That's going to tell you all your no-no places, but really, it's easier than I'm making it sound. We have made it very easy in the state of Texas, and I encourage anyone who's thinking about it to go get that first firearm. You will not regret it.
Emily Taylor is an expert on gun laws. She's from U.S. Gun Shield. She's our guest on your 956 Drive Home. And even though we have constitutional carry within the Lone Star State, it's still pretty smart to go out and get the concealed carry license, right?
Yes, I encourage it for a lot of reasons. One is travel outside of the state of Texas. It makes your travel much easier. Another is that they are going to teach you your carry laws and the laws of self-defense. Another is, and I say this as someone who represents people on murder charges because they've had to kill someone in self-defense, your jury, the police officers, prosecutors, everyone likes to see that you went out and you got that license. You took the time, you paid the fee for the course to get educated and to try to get all of the training and the knowledge that you could. So not just practically speaking, but in the courtroom, should the worst happen, it is a wonderful thing to have in your back pocket.
How long normally do those classes take?
It is a 4-hour course, and then there is a shooting component. So most instructors will get you out of their facilities within about 6 hours.
Our guest is Emily Taylor from U.S. Law Shield. She's a gun law expert, our guest on your 956 Drive Home. And for who are the kinds of people that might want to consider looking into this? Purchasing a firearm in general and going through the process of the education for it.
We're actually seeing lots of first-time gun buyers who are not your traditional firearm owners. I think we think generally of, sort of your kind of redneck Bubba as being the firearm owner. More and more we see women, we see persons of color taking advantage of their Second Amendment right. Those are the people who are most hesitant because perhaps it hasn't been something that culturally is something you're familiar with or you grew up with. Even women who have firearms in their family, most of them have not really participated in that process and in learning about guns and, where they can carry and what they can do. It is definitely something. It is, my favorite Texan, Beyonce, says, "Girl, it's your Second Amendment." It is something we all should be taking advantage of.
Right. It just seems, for those people on the fence, it can seem daunting, and some people might be a little squeamish at the idea because it is a lot of responsibility. Having the wherewithal and the knowledge and the experience of knowing when to pull it and when not to pull it, and just having it on you, and just hoping to God nothing goes in your pocket. Nothing goes off in your pocket or your holster. More responsibly, obviously, when you're carrying. And there's ways to get around through that through proficiency and through the practice that you go through and all these classes and trainings that you take.
Absolutely. Training, and not just your physical training at the range, teaching you how to properly manipulate the firearm. Get on YouTube. Get educated on the gun laws. U.S. Law Shield has a great channel on YouTube that will help educate you. Armed Attorneys is my channel. It will teach you about the gun laws as well. You have lots of, free resources to teach you everything that you need to know.
What was the name of the YouTube channel?
U.S. Law Shield is one, and Armed Attorneys is the other.
Which one was yours?
That is armed attorneys.
Oh, okay. I got lost there. I'm sorry. I apologize. Hey, Emily, any other parting notes for people that are on the fence about picking up their first firearm?
Just that it is well worth it. Again, Texas does not have safe storage laws other than keeping it inaccessible to children under the age of 16, which you can do in any way, shape, or form that you can imagine that just keeps them away from the firearm. Transport is easy. Go buy it, get it home, start watching some educational videos, and you will not regret it.
Hey, thanks a lot for breaking it down for us and giving us some of your time. That's Emily Taylor from U.S. Law Shield joining us on News Talk 710 KURV.